Hello, folks. Charlie Gipple here with CG Financial Group. So, a while back, I had some guy on Facebook, some keyboard commando, arguing with me about how his chronic illness rider was free to the clients, even when the client went on claim. So, that chronic illness rider attached to his universal life insurance policy, even when the client went on claim, it was free outside of like a small, whatever, $100 processing charge. In order to kind of deter false information proliferation, I thought I would argue with him. About 20 different comments later, I think he finally looked up the specs and realized that I was right. So, thus, I want to talk with you a little bit about not just that chronic illness rider, which is of the discounted death benefit variety, but I want to talk with you about the two other structures because make no mistake, chronic illness riders are a huge part of the life insurance business. Forget the life insurance business. I actually want to show you the long-term care insurance business. My great friend that owns Broker World over there, he sent me this long-term care study. Milliman as well as Broker World do this long-term care insurance study to where we study the industry. We get statistics on the industry. And I have all kinds of long-term care insurance and life insurance statistics that I can share with you, like this one. So when you take the long-term care insurance world and break that down into, okay, you have standalone products, you have linked benefit long-term care products, you have combination long-term care rider life insurance products or annuity products for that matter. You have chronic illness riders. How do the chronic illness riders attached to life insurance, for instance, compare to the rest of that universe, the rest of that world? As you can see here, it's 60% of the entire world. So chronic illness riders and understanding them is extremely important. So here's the deal. You have three types of riders. The first one is, as my guy on Facebook said, the free riders. It is free as long as the client doesn't use it. But make no mistake, when the client uses that rider, cannot do two activities of daily living for a 90-day period of time, which is a common trigger. Back prior to 2015, it was a permanent condition, right, that was required. Permanence was required. Well, now chronic illness riders are great. They more mirror long-term care riders, and that permanence is not required. Okay, but I digress. So that client at age 70 wants to take that death benefit. They have a term policy, they have a UL policy, and yes, these riders are available on term policies. 5 or 6 companies that have these riders on them. They say, okay, I want access to my $1 million death benefit. Well, because the insurance company is paying that death benefit early, maybe 20 years earlier than what they thought, they have to discount back that death benefit, the present value of that death benefit, which many times is not determined until that client goes on claim, age 70, for instance. Okay, so what is that present value? Again, we do not know until that client goes on claim. But what happens is the death benefit is reduced by more than what the client gets cash in hand. To me, that is not a free rider. Yes, it is great because if you don't use it, you don't lose it. That's a great thing. It is free as long as the client doesn't use it, but you're going to get in trouble if you tell the clients that this rider is free. The second structure is to where the client can get the death benefit dollar for dollar. So at age 70, for instance, that client can get the death benefit dollar for dollar. If the death benefit is reduced by $20,000, because the client has the benefit of, well, taking $20,000 out in cash, that client reduces the death benefit dollar for dollar. But this second structure, which is a lien structure, a loan structure, what does that do to the death benefit over time? Well, over time, that death benefit reduces by an interest rate, in addition to what the client took out, in addition to what the client accelerated. So that's a second structure. So we've talked about the discounted death benefit design. We talked about the lien structure. Now let's talk about a pretty easy concept, and it's just an extra fee. So there are a few insurance companies. One of my favorite riders, as a matter of fact, by an insurance company that, well, I won't share with you in this video, but call me if you want to know who this is. This rider can go on a UL policy, a GUL policy. It could go on an IUL policy. So if the client wants that death benefit coverage, maybe for cheaper, but yet they're willing to maybe bank on the market doing halfway decent and thus carrying out the death benefit for cheaper than what the GUL can. It's a cool combination to put this rider on it. And basically all that happens is the client just pays an additional premium. And when that client goes on claim eventually, how is the death benefit reduced? It is reduced dollar for dollar, a lot like the lien structure, except there is no interest rate that's attached that's going to dilute that death benefit eventually. As I say with this product, and I've told a lot of clients this, hey, yes, it costs an extra premium. And by the way, this insurance company already has on the base policy the cheapest premiums in the industry most of the time on their GUL, IUL term for that matter as well. Not that this rider is on their term. So not only that, but that death benefit that you see here, Mrs. Client, Mr. Client, either during life or after death, somebody is going to get that entire death benefit. And that is the advantage of paying that premium up front versus hoping that, you know, the discount is not too harsh because interest rates have skyrocketed, say 20 years down the road. But make no mistake, any chronic illness rider is a good rider. And for some clients, the discounted death benefit may be better, the lien structure may be better, the pay as you go or the additional premium may be better. Who knows? It's client specific.